As a football player, to play to your very, very best, you need to be feeding your body with great nutrition. But perhaps even more important, football training advice for you is to stop eating bad food. Because as a football player, if you find that you're often eating sweets, chocolate, crisps, and other bad foods, foods that you know are bad for you and your game, then you're going to find this video massively beneficial. So many football players struggle with their diet and they crave foods that are terrible for performance, terrible for progress, terrible for their mood, and a whole host of other negatives. All of these things are going to massively derail your game. Now, what bad foods actually do to your game and your brain is for a different video. But in this video, I'm going to give you 2 tips, 2 techniques that will help you to overcome these cravings. And these 2 techniques work together. Now, first of all, fundamentally, it's important to get enough calories on board. Good fats, good proteins, good carbohydrates, but make sure you're eating enough. Because one of the biggest reasons that you're going to reach out for that bad food is that these types of foods are high in calories. It goes back to the survival mechanisms in our brains. If you're hungry, then your brain is thinking, we don't know when we're getting to eat again. Maybe food is in short supply. Therefore, let's eat the most high calorie foods that we can possibly find to make sure we survive for as long as possible. It doesn't know that food for most people in the Western world now is thankfully in plentiful supply. The hungrier that you get, the more emphasis this brain of yours is going to put on eating high calorie, bad foods. So fundamentally, number 1, try to make sure that you take on a decent amount of good food and nutrition regularly. Stop that massive crash, because when that crash happens, it is always followed by those strong cravings for binge eating bad food. Now, the second tip is all based on how your brain craves enjoyment when you're bored. Now, once you've made sure that the bad food cravings that you're getting isn't so much as a requirement for food, you don't actually need to eat. Now we know that you just want to be eating because you want that feel-good feeling that snacks, junk food, all those horrible, nasty foods for your brain, the good feeling that they actually give you. Initially anyway, because actually we know that you're really actually going to regret it once you've finished eating these foods. So what I want you to do when you get these cravings is this: pay attention to the feelings that you're feeling, not the draw towards the food, but the actual feelings and the processes that are occurring in your body, the sensations that you're feeling and where you're feeling these sensations. Get curious about what's going on within you at that exact moment. What is that craving making you feel like? And what we're actually doing here is a type of mindfulness. So rather than being a slave to want bad food, eat bad food, which is our natural reaction, we add a step in the middle. Want bad food, eat bad food now becomes want bad food, curiosity. What's the feeling I'm actually feeling? Where do I feel it? What does it feel like? Why am I feeling like this? And I know it sounds simple. You might even think, if I concentrate on the feeling of wanting bad food, it's going to make me want it even more. But it doesn't work like that. And this is why it works. When it comes down to your brain, we have a left prefrontal cortex, and this is the most advanced part of every footballer's brain. It understands that you should not be eating these bad foods, that they are terrible for your game, and it will help you to stop eating these foods, to refuse them, and make that conscious decision to either eat something else or do something else. When I work with my football players, I refer to this part of your brain as the green brain. However, this part of your brain is also the first part of the brain to switch off, to go offline when you're stressed or you're hungry or you're in survival mode. So when we lose Prefrontal brain control, green brain control, this is when we're at the mercy of those survival instincts. What we know is that when the green brain shuts down, a part of what I refer to as the red brain becomes more active now. In particular, it's a region of this red brain which is called the posterior cingulate cortex. But by incorporating this awareness techniques, it reverses this. So rather than that posterior cingulate cortex getting more and more control, it actually becomes less active. And we start giving back more and more control to your green, brilliant, amazing part of your footballing brain, the left prefrontal cortex. And when it takes back control, it allows us to reduce those cravings. It stops us from getting caught up in the behavior of bad eating. Now, will this be a magic bullet? All of a sudden, you're going to stop eating bad foods forever by doing this. Now, it's unlikely. However, it's like with anything, the more and more you do this, the more it becomes natural and automatic, and you will dilute these cravings and it will be easier to overcome them, and your game will massively benefit from this. Now, I'm going to be doing a video soon on exactly why bad foods cause massive issues for the development and the performances of all players, no matter how great that metabolism is. I don't care if you're able to eat loads of bad food and stay slim and look like you're doing really well, because it has a massively bad impact on you. Now, when this video is available, I'm going to add a link to it in the top left-hand corner. I'm going to add a link to it in the description below and at the end of this video. But if you found this video useful, please tap a like and make sure you subscribe to my channel.